Long before anyone called it Skinwalker Ranch, this desert basin was already sacred ground. The Ute and the Navajo warned of a curse older than language, a rift between worlds that never closed. They said a being could wear another's face, move between shapes, and cross the veil between life and spirit. The land was said to remember these footsteps, to hold them. When you stand here in the Uinta Basin, the silence isn't empty. It's listening. The stones are carved with figures older than memory, and the air hums with a low current that feels aware. For centuries, travelers told of fire in the sky, of creatures that vanished before sunrise. The native stories weren't superstition. They were warnings. And in 1994, a ranching family named Sherman moved into this forgotten valley and discovered those warnings were real. Terry and Gwen Sherman wanted peace, open sky, cattle, and quiet. What they found were padlocks on every door, chains bolted inside the house, and heavy bars across the windows. On their first day, a wolf walked calmly out of the tree line. Huge, too big for this world. It came right up to them, let them touch its fur, and then clamped down its jaws on a calf's muzzle. Terry fired his rifle point blank. Nothing. Another shot. Still nothing. The wolf didn't bleed. It simply looked back, almost human, and walked away into the brush. When they followed its tracks, the prints stopped abruptly, as if it vanished mid-stride. The Shermans tried to explain it away, but soon they'd realize the wolf was just the beginning. Nights on the ranch turned strange. Bright spheres drifted across the fields, silent, pulsing with light, like breathing lungs. Terry would chase them with his flashlight. They'd dart away intelligently, always just out of reach. Gwen said they changed color, shifting from orange to blue to white. And then came the voices, conversations above the corral, just past hearing range. 2 or 3 speakers, rhythmic, deliberate, speaking a language no one recognized. When Terry shouted into the dark, the voices stopped, then answered back with laughter. Even the animals reacted. Dogs refused to go near certain spots. Cattle panicked at empty air. The Shermans began to wonder if the ranch itself was alive, watching them through invisible eyes. Of all the stories from Skinwalker Ranch, this is the one investigators still can't explain. 4 prize bulls, heavy, aggressive animals, vanished from their corral in broad daylight. Hours later, the family found them packed inside a metal trailer, barely big enough for one. The doors were locked. The animals stood motionless, covered in frost, their eyes wide open, but unseeing. When Terry unlocked the gate, the bull snapped back to life, destroying the trailer in panic. There were no footprints, no tire tracks, no sign of how they were moved. Later, they found magnetic fields fluctuating wildly around the corral, as if energy had bent reality itself. To the Shermans, this wasn't haunting anymore. It was experimentation. Inside the home, the fear became claustrophobic. Heavy chains bolted to the walls, too thick for animals. Doors secured from both sides. Gwen began hearing footsteps pacing the hallway at night. Terry found tools missing, then reappearing days later in impossible places. Groceries vanished from the counter, only to reappear stacked neatly in the pantry. They realized those chains weren't meant to keep intruders out. They were meant to keep something in. Whatever haunted this ranch was ancient and intelligent. It didn't just want to frighten them. It wanted to study them. Word of the Shermans' torment spread. In 1996, billionaire Robert Bigelow bought the property for scientific study. The National Institute for Discovery Science, NIDS, moved in with cameras, sensors, and physicists. But the phenomenon adapted. Equipment failed mysteriously. Cables were ripped out overnight. Invisible forces left burns in the ground. Researchers reported light tunnels opening mid-air, and creatures emerging before vanishing again. One scientist wrote that he felt as if the intelligence was aware of being observed and mocking us for trying. Today, Skinwalker Ranch remains guarded behind fences and warning signs. Modern owners still report glowing objects, radiation spikes, and anomalies that defy physics. But maybe the truth isn't in the sky or underground. Maybe it's in the land itself, an ancient current that remembers what once crossed it. The Utes say this valley was cursed because humans trespassed where they shouldn't. The Shermans called it hell on earth. Scientists call it a laboratory. But whatever it is, the desert remembers. And some nights, when the wind moves across the plain, people still swear they hear that wolf breathing just beyond the fence line. This has been Joshua Tree Encounters, where UFOs, cryptids, and high strangeness collide. Until next time, keep your eyes on the horizon and your camera pointed at the stars.